Hey everyone. I really wanted to do like an Instagram live slash Facebook live video recipe tonight. But my little boy's at his daddy's house. So I'm just going to do like a step-by-step picture. I will ask that you forgive me for a couple things right off the bat. One, this face. I got 4 hours of sleep last night and I am exhausted today. The second one being I love to cook, but I am by no stretch of the imagination a trained cook is what I tried to say in my last video. So you guys know I am just a regular real person who just enjoys being in the kitchen. It's my passion. It's what really makes me happy. So my technique to do things are not the standard way. I just figure things out as I go along. That being said, I was in the grocery store tonight. I have a ton of groceries on the counter and I felt inspired, which feels great because I feel like I haven't cooked real good food in so long. And I came up with this thing in my head that I'm excited to make. I guess if I kind of took all the ingredients together and laid them out, I guess it's kind of Thai, but I certainly did not grow up eating Thai food, nor did I really have it before a few years ago. However, with all of, the restaurants and cooking shows and everything else that I watch, sometimes I see things and they just kind of make sense together in my own head and I have to do it. And that's kind of how I felt tonight. That's what passion is. So some of the ingredients that I'm working with, I have onion, and that's it. No, I have onions, jalapeno peppers, mushrooms, some Napa cabbage, shrimp, coconut milk, cilantro, lime. I also got some bamboo and water chestnuts and corn on the cob. Corn. The sweet corn is going to be so good with the heat and the shrimp and everything together. One of the things that I'm definitely going to do that I already have in my head is I'm going to cut the corn off of the stalk and I'm going to allow the stalk itself to just seep in the coconut milk and it'll get all of that corn milk out of it. But I want to save the corn itself, like the kernels, until almost the end because I still want that pop of the fresh sweet corn. I don't want it mushy. Frozen corn would not work well in this. Maybe if it's maybe a high-end brand would work, but corn is so prevalent right now. You can get it fresh everywhere. There's really no reason to use anything frozen. Plus, God, who doesn't love fresh corn off the cob? In hindsight, too, on my way home, I wish that I would have gotten straw mushrooms, those little, I don't know, are they Asian? I have no idea, but I know, it's all in my head. I know in my head what I mean, but I have button mushrooms, and it'll do it. It'll be perfect. Also, I'm using shrimp. I think you could totally do this vegetarian. You could use tofu, or you could use some beautiful, chicken breast. It would be so super tender and delicious in here. I use my hands a lot when I talk. One more thing. I also bought, the teeniest, tiniest little yellow squash. I want tons of color and texture, and I don't know if I told you earlier that I bought a red pepper as well. Color. It'll be beautiful when it's done. I'm going to do pepper too, but obviously can't video cracking pepper fresh. Let these cook down for maybe 5 minutes or so, and then I'm going to add the coconut milk to it, and while that kind of steeps in there, I'm going to cut the corn off of the cob. I have eggplant too that I want to put in there, and ginger, ginger. Tiniest little zucchini, squash, whatever, same thing, and some mushrooms. I just added the zucchini and mushrooms, and I'm going to add some more. Shit, that was my oil. I'm going to add some more salt because you must continue to season as you cook. This is one of my favorite moments. The coconut milk. I'm going to add a can of water too. Actually, about 3/4 of a can of water. Next thing, I have a jalapeno pepper that I took the seeds out. One of the tips that I do is once I cut the pepper up, I actually touch my finger to my tongue so that I can see how hot that pepper is, and then I can adjust the seasoning. In this case, it's not very hot, so I'm going to add some red pepper flakes. I like my food pretty spicy. That looks to be about enough. And then I'm gonna zest a lime in here now. I so wish you guys could smell what this smells like. Oh my gracious, it's amazing. Squeeze half a lime in there. Oh, this is a nice juicy one. And then I have a nub of ginger. I'm gonna cut this into a couple bigger pieces, and then I'm gonna put that in there as well. Look at me, sweating. All right, I know that you can put the corn on a bowl and it all falls in and it makes it nice. I was lazy, I didn't do it. I recommend doing it. There's just as much corn on my floor as there is on my cutting board. I mean, seriously, like, it's everywhere. All right, so take these beautiful babies, lay them in the pot. That wonderful corn milk is gonna seep into the rest of the mixture. I just, like, seriously, roughly, understatement, roughly, chop some cilantro. That might be too much. Put that in there as well. Next up, I got a big head of Napa cabbage. I wanted bok choy. They didn't have it. The one that they had was, like, nasty and dry and not good. So I'm gonna try this, and I'm gonna cut it up pretty fine, actually. So I have this lovely Napa cabbage that I'm going to put into my pot, which is bubbling and making my house smell freaking amazing. Next up, I'm going to add some of the bamboo shoots. They really don't taste like much, so I wish I would have put them in earlier so they could absorb some of the liquid, but whatevs, I forgot. So, not a ton, but enough to let you know they're in there. And then I got whole water chestnuts, so I'm gonna slice those up as well. Okay, they're in there. It's right about this time that I feel like I need to taste it for seasoning and not burn my mouth. All right, I definitely need salt. I'm gonna put maybe a half a teaspoon in there of kosher salt, always kosher salt. I don't need any more pepper. The heat's amazing in there. I say always kosher salt. It's just what I usually cook with. I do have like Himalayan, I have sea salt, I have like a whole bunch of different ones. My everyday salt is kosher, never that iodized crap that comes with a little metal. I also want a little bit of sweetness in there, so I'm going to add some Weatherspoon Beechwood raw honey. It might be a tablespoon. Last but not least, beautiful corn. The corn's gonna go in now. I also lied, that was not last. I have broccoli I'm gonna put in for like a nice crunch at the end, and then the shrimp. And guys, I've been doing this in real time. Obviously, I can't like post on delay, so this is really how long it's taking me to cook. Broccoli just went in. You can see that I'm like running out of space in my pot. Ideally, honestly, I'd probably let this cook for a little bit longer, but Mama's starving. It is 7:41 at night. I haven't even gotten changed from work yet, obviously. Taking out, that was my trash bowl, a la one Rachel Ray. Not necessarily my favorite cook, however, I do like a trash bowl. All right, time to taste again. Not burn my mouth again. The shine is real on my face. I am so sorry. Oh my. The only thing I want to add is a little more honey, and that's because I don't want to put sugar in here. I know I would get that immediate sweetness from the sugar, but the honey obviously is a natural product, and everything I have in here is natural, and I want to keep it that way. Guys, I almost just had a nervous breakdown. Nothing else would load, and I thought that I was like a lost cause, and you'd never even see the shrimp go in. I'm going to add the shrimp now in case I can't add any more quick snaps. This is where I might get yelled at. I'm using frozen pre-cooked shrimp. Not because I'm lazy, but because I've had them in my freezer and I don't want them to go to waste. Ideally, I would use fresh one and the shells, and it would make a great stock. There's about probably 5, 10, 20 chefs maybe who watched this. If you did, thank you. Who just gasped and said, "Ah, she just ruined the whole friggin' thing by using shrimp that are already cooked." I get it. I'm a regular person. All right, so they're in there. I'm not gonna let them stay in there super, super long because they're already cooked, but I do want them to get some of that delicious flavor. I'm also regretting putting the broccoli in so early because now it kind of got mushy and I really wanted it to be crisp, but you live and you learn. And Charlie just went by my house. Also, this would be delicious over rice, like jasmine rice or white, whatever your favorite rice is, or those like rice noodles would be wonderful as well. I'm just gonna do it raw dog. Okay, so this is it. I just finished it off with some more fresh cilantro leaves, some crushed up peanuts, and a fresh lime wedge. We're good to go. What do you think? Real talk. This is what happens when I cook. I mean, I have serious issues. Got to be kidding me right now.